I'd like to welcome you all here this evening to talk about the topic of debt. It is a topic that CaPRI feels strongly about and one that we feel that should be discussed in public. This is just the fourth installment of CaPRI's legacy of bringing difficult issues to the public and discussing it and getting feedback from the public. We started off in Emancipation Park. I don't know if some of you were there in December 2006. Then we went to Montego Bay, February 2007, where we spoke about the state of the economy on both occasions. So we feel proud to have covered both ends of the island. We also went to the middle in Brownstown. Some of you heard that on Nationwide, and we're partnering with Nationwide again tonight for the outside broadcast. There we discussed education, and now tonight we're discussing debt. We believe, CaPRI as a public policy think tank believes that research is one aspect of it. It's also important to get the feedback and experiences from the members of the public. Research, we specialize in bringing research to the average Jamaican. We understand that research facilities are fairly scarce, and so it's important to not only inform policymakers, but inform the populace who choose those policymakers every 4 years or so. Although recently it seems like it will be a much shorter period. But there's also a second aspect to it. It's not only about CaPRI bringing research to the public, but also the public being able to have an input into the kind of research we present to policymakers both here and abroad. One of the feedback that one remark that we got on giving out flyers this week was, why should I care? How is it any of my business what happens with debt? And it's that feeling and emotion that led to us believing that it is very important for us to have meetings like this. Debt is something that affects us all, particularly in this era where we seem to be in a replay of the 1970s with regard to oil crisis, oil prices, and the general inflation spiral, etc. And we felt that that kind of emotion should not be popular and prevalent in a democracy, especially one as small as ours, where we know that our words, if offered, can influence policy. So CaPRI, as part of its mission, doesn't have us only presenting policy, but also being part of a social change, not necessarily a change from what is now, but a participation change. Tonight, we then want to evoke and remind everyone of the meaning of public service, that the government is not only issues proclamations, etc., or we listen to them at Garden House, but it's also a matter that they're supposed to serve us. But how can they serve the public if they know not what we want? So that is why CaPRI continues with this public forum series, to bring these issues to the public and to get feedback and include it in versions of our report which are presented to policymakers in other forums. I'd also like to thank tonight our sponsors today, the UNDP and Christian Aid. Both organizations have a history of looking into developmental issues and social issues. Christian Aid actually was part of a recent debt campaign in the UK, whereby they took to the streets again. I know a lot of you are familiar with the 2000 Jubilee debt campaign, where Europeans went and spoke about and campaigned on the streets for debt relief for countries in Africa, in Asia, and in the Caribbean. There was a reinvigoration of that movement this year, part of which CaPRI actually presented this debt report at that meeting. UNDP has also been the social, how should I say, the social arm of the United Nations system, and also would be interested in getting a more participatory governance model, participatory democracy in Jamaica. And so on that basis have come in as sponsors of this event. We therefore would like to invite the two sponsors to come up and talk about why they have decided to sponsor this event today. Firstly, we'll have the program officer, Ryan Holder, from Christian Aid.
Thanks. Good evening, everybody. It's very good to be here. Very glad to have the opportunity to partner with CaPRI on this. Now, Kim hasn't left me very much to say because she's covered a lot of the reasons that we are interested in being involved. But first, let me give you a little background on Christian Aid. I realize that not a lot of people know who we are. Christian Aid is the development agency of the Protestant churches of the UK and Ireland. And we have been working in Jamaica for more than 15 years, but we've only just opened an office here. Most of what we do is community development work in Jamaica, but in the UK, we actually do a lot of lobbying at government level and in partnership with both organizations in the north as well as partner organizations in the south. We are not an implementing agency. We work through local experts, local non-governmental organizations, local partners, people like yourselves who are interested and are active in trying to make change in their communities and in their countries. In fact, Christian Aid's essential purpose is to expose the scandal of poverty, to help in practical ways to root it out from the world, and to challenge and change the systems that favor the rich and powerful over the poor and marginalized. And now that's a mouthful, but I think it speaks to why we're actually here today and why we would support research such as this and a public forum such as this. In order to make changes, in order to have widespread public support and public engagement in issues such as debt, which, as Kim said, people don't usually take on as something that affects them personally. We have to make sure that people are informed and educated, that people are aware that, yes, they do have a role to play and what that role is. And in order for that to happen, they have to have information. And as Kim pointed out, this is evidence-based research. This is not just emotion. So when Christian Aid had the opportunity to partner, this was something that we took very seriously. And I think CaPRI is one of the organizations that has a commitment to ensuring that we do have this public debate. And that is something that we are definitely very, very happy to be participating with. So thank you very much.